Today I'll be showing you how to set up and create a new invoice run. To do this, we firstly need to go to the settings area within our People Planner environment. Once within settings, we're going to come to Finance, Invoice and Runs. Once within Runs, we are greeted by the list of available invoice runs for us. To add a new record, we want to press the plus button on the right hand side of the page. Once we press the plus button, we're greeted by our data entry phase. And the description is just referring to the description of the run itself. For the example today, I'm going to have this as private. Private monthly runs. The instructions box is essentially just referring to some brief instructions. These can be as detailed or as brief as you like. This field is also extendable and reducible by using the bottom right hand corner. Once we've populated these fields, we're going to work our way down the page. We have some export formats. For those of you that are using external exporting tools, such as Sage or Pegasus, for example, you can select these from the list available. However, on my test environment today, I won't have anything in this drop-down box. Moving our way down, we have travel calculation type. And this is essentially just referring to whether you would like to have a manual or automatic process. For those of you that have Google Maps enabled, you can enable Google Maps here to have automatic calculations. However, I will advise that only to enable Google Maps here if you're going to be charging for the miles traveling to the client's house. If you're not, we're going to select the manual feature. Prefix is just referring to whether you want a numerical or letter coding to display on your invoice itself. Working our way down, we have include supplements and split supplements. A supplement is essentially something that hadn't been previously reconciled. So for something you perhaps missed off 6 months ago and have gone back into the record and have now reconciled the information, a supplement is what you have just reconciled being pulled through onto the most recent invoice. So it's historic data that's been reconciled, previously wasn't reconciled, and it's going to pull through onto your most recent invoice. And it will also show the hourly figures and the values to which you would be charging for that particular period of time. At the bottom, we also have a custom format type. If I was to click this drop-down box, we have several pre-configured format types. You can have a play about with these, and it's essentially just going to change the way that your invoice itself looks. For the example today, I'm just going to leave this field blank. Once we've worked our way down the page, we can press our Save button here on the right hand side of the screen. Once saved, our Quick Links menu for periods becomes available here at the top right hand side. We need to go into the periods, and this is where we'll be setting up when and how long these periods actually cover. So this is whether you're having a weekly, a bi-weekly, a monthly, 6-monthly invoice run period. I personally prefer using the wizard tool, as it can generate more than one instance, and you'll see why later on in the video. So if we go into wizard here, we're just going to select the start date of when we want this invoice run to be applied from. For the example, I'm just going to use the 1st of the 1st, 2018. As this is going to be a monthly run, I'm going to select the interval as monthly. If this was a weekly run, we could select weekly. If this is daily, again, we can select daily. The example today, I'm going to use monthly. Interval count is essentially referring to how many of these intervals that we've just set up here would you like to be included within this period. If I was to put 10 in here, it is essentially meaning that 10 months are included within this invoice run. If I was to select 1, it just means 1 month is included within this invoice run. The instances are essentially just referring to how many of these periods we've just set up above would you like to create. If I was to put 12 in here, it's going to generate a year's worth of runs for me. So there's going to be 12 one-monthly payroll runs created. The ID is essentially just referring to an identifier to what this invoice run is about. So for the example today, I'm just going to use monthly. Working our way down to forecasted hours and values, we're just going to put zeros in both of these fields and press save here on the right hand side of the screen. Once saved, you can actually see that it's now generated our 12 instances, so we have a year's worth of invoice runs that have been created. Now there is another way that we can add another period, however it's slightly longer. I prefer the wizard because it's much faster and we can create several more instances. So once we press the plus button here on the top right to create a new instance, we're then going to tell the system the start date of the subsequent run. So here at the top we have the 1st of the 12th of 2018, so the next invoice run period would be from the 1st of the 1st 2019. The system is then going to presume that the day before the one that we've just entered is the day that the previous invoice run closes on. Here we've got the ID, so I'm just going to place that as monthly, forecasted hours as 0 and forecasted values as 0. Once we've populated all of these fields, we're going to press the save button. And now that you can see that after pressing the save button, the new instance that we've just created has appeared at the top. That is how to create a new invoice run period. I hope this video has been useful. Thank you for watching.